Hi, I'm Fiona, a 27-year-old who decided life was way too short to wait for anyone and has traveled to 5 of the 7 continents alone. It has single-handedly changed my life, and now I'm telling you everything I learned so you can do it too. From planning to packing to what to do when you feel lonely, here's the advice I wish existed when I first started. And trust me, the last few tips, they're the reason I'd never wait for someone to say yes to a trip again.
Hello angels, and welcome back to my channel. I know you're probably scared, you're probably nervous, you're probably anxious, but first I want to tell you that I'm really proud of you for even taking this step. As a girl who has solo traveled to 5 of the 7 continents alone, I'm here to give you every single tip that I have in this brain that will probably help you on your very first solo trip. Don't worry, we are going to have fun with this one, so sit back, relax, and let's get started. First and foremost, the most important thing, especially if you're a woman traveling alone, is to choose the right destination. You really want to do your research and choose somewhere very safe, especially if it's your first time. And if you're not really used to doing things alone, what I would recommend is just take a 2 to 3 day trip on the weekends by yourself somewhere first. Go somewhere in your city, go somewhere in your state, somewhere in your country before you kind of do like a long haul 7-day trip somewhere abroad. So I'm going to tell you some of the places that I've solo traveled alone that I absolutely adored. Coming from New York City, I felt extremely safe in these places. I had a ton of fun. I learned so much. The first one being one of my favorites, which is Japan. I have been to Tokyo alone, Nara, Osaka, Kyoto, and I absolutely love it there. The food is so good. The people are so sweet. It's extremely safe, and there's so much to do, so you will genuinely never get bored. The second one, I've spent like 4 to 6 months here, is South Korea. Absolutely adored South Korea. It's one of my favorite places. The food is so good. There's also so much to do there that you'll never get bored. Another one that I really loved was Sydney, Australia. Oh, I loved Australia. The beaches are so beautiful. Nobody there cared that I was alone. The public transportation is honestly really good. The food is really good. I can't wait to go back, honestly, just talking about it. If you're more of a city person, I have done Paris alone, and I've also done, obviously, New York City alone. You do have to be a little bit smarter when you're going to a city, especially Paris or New York, but honestly, there's so much to do in a city. I love traveling to a city and just roaming around, bopping around, getting food, getting a matcha, people watching, shopping. So Paris and New York City, absolutely adored those two. I also did one of the Greek islands alone. I went to Paros alone, and I loved Paros. It was so beautiful. There wasn't like so much to do there. It's more of like a chill destination. But if you're coming from Europe, I think that one of the Greek islands is just a really great place to start. Last but not least, I also did Portugal alone. I went to Lisbon, and my favorite island ever, Madeira. Like thinking about it, it just gives me chills because it was just such an amazing time there, and you guys will love it so much. I absolutely loved Lisbon. The food was so good. The people were so sweet. Madeira was amazing. I would say that's more of like an intermediate kind of solo travel place. You know, if you've taken like 2 or 3 trips before, then go to Madeira, only because you have to drive everywhere by yourself, and that can be a little bit more difficult than taking public transportation. All in all though, if I had to recommend 3 places, I would probably recommend New York City, especially if you're from the States. Japan, I would go back to Japan tomorrow, solo, if I could. And I would probably recommend either Portugal or the Greek islands, depending on if you want like more of a beach vibe or if you want a city vibe. And now that you have a place in mind, let's talk about budgeting. I have done solo travel when I had $1,000 to my name, and I have done solo travel where I stayed in 5-star hotels. It really depends on you, but what I really want to instill in you is that you need to budget for safety, especially if you are a female. For example, when I was in Milan, I had to get to the airport at I think 5 or 6 a.m. and Uber was kind of expensive, but in my head I was like, okay, I'm not going to walk the streets of Milan at 4 a.m. I need to obviously call an Uber. If there's one thing you need to throw money at, it is safety. That is your top priority, especially when you're alone. The only person who has your back is you. I just want to get that point across to you guys. But solo traveling does not have to cost an arm and a leg. I have stayed in $10 hostels in Taiwan, and I had the time of my life there. I met so many friends. If you want to meet people and have that social relationship when you solo travel, a hostel is a great place to start. Another thing that I really want to instill in you guys is that it's really important to have Wi-Fi. If you are going to a place where you have no idea, you can't speak the language, you have never been there, the number one thing that you need to make sure that you have is Wi-Fi. I usually just use an eSIM plan. I use airalo. I also use this one called MobiMatter. But I remember when I was really broke solo traveling Korea, there was 1 month where I didn't pay for Wi-Fi because I didn't want to spend the extra $50 that it was. And that was one of the biggest lessons I needed to learn because, girl, $50, the inconvenience that it cost me to go outside and not have any Wi-Fi, not have like Google Maps, not know where I was going, was just such a dumb decision. So throw money at safety and also throw money at Wi-Fi. So step 3, let's talk about the itinerary. What are you going to actually do when you get there, and how are we going to build that out? So some people really like to plan every single aspect of their trip. What I like to do is I will schedule 1 or 2 things that I know that I want to do that might sell out, and then I'll have a running list of the things that I kind of want to do, but I'll fit it whenever I want to. One of the most magical parts about solo traveling is that you have 100% ownership of your time, so you can do whatever you want whenever you want. If you're not feeling tired after the fish market, you can go to the museum. And what I usually do is I'll start by going on Viator. It's the ultimate planning tool on things you want to do around the world. They also have over 300,000 travel experiences, so there's genuinely something for everyone. I've used them in Paris, in London, in Portugal, in Shanghai, New York, Hawaii. There's also millions of real reviews, and I always love reading those reviews just so you can be planning with a lot of confidence. Last week in New York, I booked an experience to Summit One Vanderbilt, and that is one of my favorite places in the city. It's this insane observatory. It has these mirrored rooms. It just feels like you're floating on top of the city, and that's just an example of the things that you can find on Viator. And a little trick that I want to tell you guys, if I start feeling kind of lonely during a solo trip, I will book a group tour. I just feel like it's a really easy way to talk to someone, especially if you're in that place where you really need to kind of conversate with someone or have a social aspect, and just share an experience together with strangers. It's honestly really fun. Thank you so much Viator for sponsoring this part of the video. Okay, so next up, let's talk about packing. These are my tried and trues, whether you're backpacking it or you're dragging your suitcase down cobble hills in Italy. These are my tried and trues. These are like some of the things that I just genuinely will not go on a trip without. First one is a portable charger, girl. God forbid you are walking down the streets in New York and you have no idea where your hotel is and your phone dies, you know? I mean, I'm sure you'll survive, but just the chances of that happening and the anxiety that that's going to cause, just get a portable charger. Second thing is I do not go anywhere without Tums. I genuinely do not. Like, I have had food poisoning in the craziest cities, and I've even had food poisoning on a flight before. Just the amount of anxiety and stress when you're not feeling well and you need to go and find an antacid is something I wouldn't wish on anybody, girl. I always bring an air tag, especially if I'm checking in a bag. Even if you're doing a backpack, I would just bring an air tag just to be safe. If you're staying in a hostel, I really like bringing a lock. Coming from New York, I don't trust anybody, so a lock is always a good idea. And also on a solo trip, I usually like to dress a little bit more low-key, so I probably wouldn't bring heels, I probably wouldn't bring a dress. I would save all of those extravagant and like flashier looking things for maybe a girl's trip or, you know, a friend's trip or a trip with your partner. Before you leave, I have 2 things on the to-do list, which is to download your destination on Google Maps. That way, if your internet is not working, you know, you already have the map downloaded. And second of all, please tell your friends and family where you're going. Give them your itinerary. Tell them you're gonna call them. Make sure that your people at home know that you're going somewhere. Now that I have given you guys all of my advice, I wanna give you guys some words from the bottom of my heart. I know you're scared, I know you're nervous, but I promise you what you're about to embark on is going to change your life forever. After this trip, you're going to realize that you do not need to wait for a single person to do anything. You can do it all by yourself. You're gonna feel so confident, so excited after this trip, so revitalized. Let me be the first to say that I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for even considering it. I'm proud of you for watching this video, and I'm proud of you for pulling the trigger. I still get so nervous when I'm planning a solo trip to somewhere that I've never been before, and I have done this so many times. And let me tell you, I don't have more courage than you. I'm not braver than you. I'm not smarter than you. If I can do it, you can too. You don't have to know everything before you go. You don't have to be fearless. All you have to be is curious. And if you're the type of person who overthinks a lot and you think about the worst case scenario that can happen, I want to tell you, first of all, trust your gut. If you're going somewhere and you have a bad feeling about something, trust your gut, girl. But I want to tell you, if you're someone that overthinks things and you're thinking about the worst case scenario, a study showed that 85% of the worst case scenario, the things that you think about in your head, never end up coming true. And in that 15% chance, it's so rare that it is the worst possible thing that you think that will come true. So don't stress about it, girl. Don't bring the future stresses into your present moment. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the butterflies. I hope you plan this trip as a love letter to yourself, and if you're feeling nervous, take that as a sign. The best stories always start with a little fear. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Genuinely hope that it really helped you. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, comment them down below and I will do my best to answer your questions. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and of course here on YouTube. Love you, and I hope you angels have the most amazing day.